you so much for joining us and welcome to yet another exciting edition of the Lunchtime Cafe right here on Camnet TV. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter, your host for the next 1 hour, and obviously to discuss important issues bordering on national matters is Mr. Robert CHANSA. He is the president of the Revamped Development for Change, RDC, and he is also a member of the United Kwacha Alliance, UKA, and he is under the Council of Presidents. President CHANSA, good to see you and welcome. Happy New Year. I last saw you some two and a half years ago.
Yes, Mr. Tapelo, thank you very much for hosting us, and we really want to appreciate for this opportunity that which you have given the party RDC and to engage with our people out there on national matters. We also want to extend our greetings to the people watching Camnet TV and the people who are live on Facebook. We really appreciate for the job that they're doing in supporting our media station.
Okay, fantastic. And it's good that you're saying our media station. It means that you are home now.
Yes, Mr. Tapera, this is home, and we really want to appreciate the work that Camnet TV is doing. And then we extend also our condolences to our big man, Pastor Chirofia. And it's good that we were also present to greet the madam, Miss Chirofia, the time that Miss Chiluba, yeah, thank you for that correction. The time that we had lost our great man. Our great man indeed inspired this nation to make sure that he brings the media that should stand to speak about the challenges that the people are going through and exposing solutions to what we need to do in order to alleviate high poverty levels and in order to improve just the lives of people out there. I remember some activities that which he had promoted in terms of skill the promotion which we were having as Camnet TV here, and the conferences that which normally bring the Zambian people, the Zambian minds together to get to know what we should do if we are to uplift the living standard of our lives.
Okay, thank you so much, President CHANSA, for those kind words. And you, the viewers out there, can come through on the number that is displayed on your TV screen, 0973-852700. That's the number you are reaching us on to take part, or better still, rush to our Facebook page. We are live. Leave a comment there, your question or contribution, as we delve into matters of national importance. Now, coming to you, President CHANSA, let me find out from you, where did the motivation come from to join a political alliance? What's the importance of belonging to a political alliance? You are part of the United Kwacha Alliance.
Thank you very much. That is very good question, Mr. Smarter. You know, we have always indicated and stated that this country cannot develop without engaging the young people, the young leadership, and the people who have got that energy to develop this country. And I would love to put it on table to our viewers out there, and that it is very important that we, the young people, the youths who are the majority, we are the people who have got that vast knowledge in order to develop this country and to make sure that we bring solutions on table, the solutions that which will help a young person get out of the poverty that which we are going through. This is what had prompted us now to get to be on the table, that we should also be part of the administrative, because if our leaders are only left alone without being with us, We, the young people, we are the best people who knows where the challenges that we are going through are. You and me, Mr. Smarter, we can testify to the general public out there that you're growing and they're growing of our leaders are totally different. Our leaders, they grew up under free education up to university level, and while they are still in university, employment was waiting for them. Employment was waiting for them. Opportunities were waiting for them. But us, the young people of this generation, our growing has been very tough. It has been very difficult. It has been in a way whereby you are educating yourself, you are going to school, and at the same time you need to source for funds for you to complete, to achieve your dream, for you to attain that dream. So this is where the driving force came from, that we should get to be engaged in public office, in administrating this country, so that we bring also the challenges that we young people are going through. And this forced us to form this political party, Revamped for Development Change Party, RDC. And then we knew that we cannot work just on our own. We need to be part and parcel of our leaders, the leaders that have been in front, so that we get to work together in making sure that we develop this country. Thank you.
Okay. Now let me find out, why UCA? There is CHANSA Alliance.
Yes.
There is UPND Alliance. Why UCA?
Thank you very much, Mr. Smarter, for that good question. You know, we are the government in waiting, and we are the people who should make sure that we hold our colleagues to be accountable, to make sure that they deliver what is due for the Zambian people, to make sure that they do what is right for the Zambian people. Why did we choose to go to UCA than UPND? Because for us, we wanted to make sure that when we come on board as a political party, we should be that political party that which will offer checks and balances to the governing party, which is the UPND. We do not want to see a situation where all of us should be on one-sided. Now, who is going to hold others accountable for the promises which they had promised to the Zambian people if they are not delivered? So this is why we chose UCA. UCA was the first alliance that which was created. We were as a team together with our colleagues on the CHANSA Alliance. But in the long run, while we were together, we tend to differ on our principles, on what we believe in, because some of our colleagues, they believed that we were supposed to endorse our former head of state, who is the who is the former Republican president, President Edgar Lungu. And then some of us, we spoke of our mind that why don't we give it a time, and then why should it not be something that should come from the people? It should never be us only giving out that right. It should be, if the people says yes, we want our former head of state to stand, yes, then we need to go for it. And then the other thing that we had brought on the table, it's about the court issue. We brought that issue that if it happens that it goes other way, that our former head of state is bad to stand, and if we are told that the constitution says in another way, what will be the way forward? So these are the principles that we got to differ with our colleagues, in which those that felt that for them they should just have to endorse the former head of state, then that's how they happened to move out of United Kwacha Alliance. But we were a team as one alliance. Okay.
Now, recently we saw you and other opposition political parties, including the Socialist Party, NDC, PEP for Mr. Sean Tembo. We also saw UNIP.
Yes.
We also saw Christians Democratic Party, CDP,
yes,
for Dr. Danny
Pule.
Pule, also at that particular press briefing. Now, what came out from different stakeholders, including governance experts, political pundits, what came out was maybe, just maybe, this is an opportunity for opposition political parties to come together and work together. My question to you, I'll re-echo what the stakeholders have been saying there.
Yes.
Was this a beginning of a mutual understanding, a mutual relationship of all opposition political parties coming together for one common goal?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Smata, for that good question. Indeed, you are very right. Okay. It is a step for us opposition political parties to make sure that we put our country first, besides our interest. And this is what we have been trying to engage each other. We have been trying to bring each other on board to make ourselves understand that besides our interest, there is an interest for the Zambian people. There is an interest for this country. And this is what we should put first before our interest. And then it is good that it's yielding fruits. In the back door, we've been engaging each other and trying to dialogue so that we should make sure that we unite as opposition political parties, and then we should stand and work for the people of Zambia. Let's not forget that being a public servant, it is not about serving yourself, but it is about serving the people. If you are truly there to serve the people of Zambia, then we should hit to the core, which the Zambian people have always echoed on. We should hit to the core on which the Zambian people have always wished that it should be. And this is what we are trying to do as opposition political parties, to make sure that we should be coming as one entity which will hold the government, the ruling party, UPND, to be accountable to deliver the services which are promised to the Zambian people. If we get to be on our own, to be divided as opposition political party, then we are not doing a good service to the Zambian people. So we thought of, for us, we need to come on board and make sure that we champion the core of the Zambian people, unlike championing the core of us opposition leaders. Okay.
Now, there has been a concern from some sections of society, and this has been amplified by the governing party, the UPND, where they say there is no credible opposition political party out there. Now, you coming from the opposition, let me find out from you, Mr. Chanda, are you a credible opposition political party? Are you a credible opposition alliance, because you belong to one, obviously?
Thank you very much. Indeed, Mr. Smata, we are a credible opposition political party, and then we are a credible opposition alliance, that which even the UPND at the moment, they know. And the UPND knows that we are offering good checks and balances to make sure that they are held accountable to the promises which they had promised to the Zambian people. Despite that, they can come and politicize and talk on such ways that there is no opposition political party. It has always been there. We all know from history that even them, the time they were in opposition, they were taught to be in the same angle which they are accusing us. The PF used to say the same thing, that there is no opposition political party that which can unseat the PF. There is no opposition political party that which is credible. We used to hear such words from our our opposition political party, our fellow opposition, which are the PF now. This is a message that which we should now try to check when we are offering governance issues, because being an opposition does not mean that you have to be an enemy. You have to be people who should be fighting. We need to unite as a country for one common goal. The ruling party should understand the mandate of opposition political parties, and the opposition parties should also understand the mandate of the ruling parties, so that at the end of the day we do what is right for the Zambian people. We bring good service to the Zambian people. If we all seek to be one-sided, as the ruling party always wants it to be, who is going to hold them accountable? And who is going to remind them that this is what you spoke, this is what you promised the Zambian people? So the governing body should not get opposition political parties to be enemies, but they should get to take opposition political parties as their stakeholders in developing this nation.
Okay. Are you then, as opposition political parties, taking the government of the day as a stakeholder in national development, having one common goal of putting Zambia forward and developing Zambia? Mr. Chansa.
Yes, as opposition political parties, we are doing that. And if, in fact, when we had the last presser, a joint presser of all opposition political parties together with the civil society organization, we brought that joint presser because we wanted to talk about what is cardinal for the Zambian people, what is cardinal for this country on the census report that which was given. You got to hear what we spoke, and you got to hear the questions that we had put on the table to the ruling party, meaning we were speaking for the Zambian people. We wanted answers which the Zambian people had sent us to ask the ruling party. Yes, we opposition political parties, we are taking the governing party as our stakeholder. This is why we are offering checks and balances to advise them, to make sure, to push them that they should make sure that they deliver to the expectation of the Zambian people, and to make sure that they do what is right. When they are wrong, we need to come on board and correct the mistake that they are doing. When they have done something good, we need also to recommend them. There are a lot of things that we had also recommended which are very important, which are critical to the lives of the Zambian people. We have commended where they have done good. And we should also continue recorrecting the mistakes that which they are doing as a stakeholder for this country, as a joint stakeholder between the opposition and the ruling party.
Okay. Now, let's move on and look at some of the pressing issues that are currently affecting or impacting on majority citizens out there, President Chansa. Let's look at the cost of living. There has been a concern that as opposition political parties, you are in a habit of condemning, unlike offering solutions to the current challenges that this country is grappling with. Let me talk about the high cost of living, the escalating prices of food items.
Yes.
How then, as a political party, are you going to contribute to the alliance in terms of addressing the cost of living, Mr. Chansa?
Thank you very much for that good question, Mr. Simata. As an alliance, WUKA, we believe to come and tackle this issue of cost of living. We believe to come and arrest this cost of living. How and have we planned to come and arrest this cost of living? We have agreed as an alliance that immediately we form government through the people of Zambia, we need to increase the support to our farmers, to our small-scale farmers. And then we need to make sure that we deliver the inputs in time. We need to make sure that we do not segregate which province we should deliver those inputs to. We need to make sure that we deliver equitably and at the same time. Okay. Let's talk about how we have been affected with this high cost of living. You remember when we just brought in the New Dawn government, there were a lot of mistakes that which they had done, which had now taken us to where we are in terms of the cost of living. Number one, when the UPND came in office, before they understand the system, how the system is learned, in which we need to provide farming inputs to our farmers, they decided to cancel all tenders from those that were supplying the government in terms of farming inputs.
Okay.
On perceivement that they are affiliated to the past government. That was the number one mistake which we were not supposed to do as a country, because you don't run a country in that manner. When they had cancelled all tenders, those people that were already in the system, they knew where to acquire from those farming inputs, and they knew what time they should deliver before the tenders were cancelled. So this is what had affected us now on the farming season of 2022 to 2023. We had delivered farming inputs at a late stage where it was not applicable for our farmers to utilize those farming inputs. So that was the number one mistake. Second mistake which the UPND did. Immediately they came in power, they had sold the maize that we had in the reserves. If you remember, Mr. Joe, 2020 to 2021, we had a bumper harvest of 7%. From, if I'm not mistaken, from 3,387,898,000 tonnages of maize to 3,620,244,000. That was the harvest that we had for 2020 to 2021 farming season, in which we had a bumper harvest of 7%. So that bumper harvest that we had, there were a food reserve in our reserves, which the UPND immediately they came and sold that maize before getting to understand how to run the system, before getting to understand how they are going to secure this country in terms of food. They rushed to sell that maize without understanding what implication will come after selling that maize. After selling that maize, 2023 to 2024, that's when now even climate change had affected us. So it means that if they had not sold that maize, we could have secured this country in terms of having enough staple food. So we had these problems coming from 2021, 2022, and 2023. We couldn't do well in farming. And if you have seen, the climate change had only affected us for 2024 farming season, because we start farming from 2023 to 2024. And then 2024, even up to now, Mr. Chapelo, I can tell you that we cannot confirm that we have mopped up all the maize that which we can say we depend on for 2024. So the crisis came from where we were coming from. This is where we had created lacunas, which prompted us now to have a shortage in terms of the staple food. And this had now contributed to high skyrocketing of prices of mealie meal because we had a shortage of maize. We had no maize in the reserves. This is now what had happened to force the UPND to start importing maize after selling our own maize. You see, the maize that we had in the reserves. So these were the mistakes that we were trying to correct also as opposition political parties. Another greatest mistake, that which the UPND did when they came in power. Before understanding how the system of this country is run, they rushed to remove subsidies, in which we, the opposition political leaders, we were not in agreement. We refused that the UPND should not rush to remove subsidies on fuel. Why? Because if subsidies are rushed and removed without putting measures, we will leave all departments vulnerable for high skyrocketing of prices.
In an event that UCA forms government, are you then saying that you are going to introduce subsidies, you are going to maximize on the reserves? But what are you telling us, President CHANSA?
Yes, Mr. Smarter. Thank you very much for that good question. If we can look at the way we have been affected in terms of also road shedding, in which our small emerging businesses have also been affected, which we are talking about welding, barbing, butchery, retail selling. And these people have been subjected to start using generators, which generators are demanding fuel. So for us to support this sector, we need to put measures that which will bring an enabling environment for our people who are doing these emerging businesses in terms of making sure to have easy access to fuel, to cheaper fuel, so that we also cushion this burden that we have, this elephant in the room of road shedding. So as UCA, we are planning, when we form government, we are going to look at this sector. We are going to look at how we can try to subsidize for a certain period of time, as we are putting measures that which will be permanent for long run after we remove those subsidies. Mr. Tapelo, Zambia, it is a rich country. It is a blessed country. In mining, in tax rebates, we are losing about $3 billion, which we can utilize if we revisit our Mining Act and sit down with our stakeholders and make them to understand that Zambia is also losing out, in as much as we want investors to come. But it should be a win-win situation. It should never be a win one traffic way situation. We need to win, both of us. With the Zambian people, we must also be given what is due. If we negotiate and at least meet at a certain way, we might be raising the money, that which we can even use to subsidize our fuel, that which we can even use to build infrastructure, that which we can even use to pump in health, bringing good health to our Zambian people. And at the same time, I'll give you this example. Zambia, we have discovered suggerite, but up to now, we don't know what is happening with that mineral of the Zambian people. Up to now, we are not told what is the way forward on this mineral that we have discovered. You and me, we remember that incident where about it should be 20,000 tons of suggerite, which was discovered. Up to now, we are not told where it has gone. And it was worth about approximately $750 million. So if we come and put and prioritize the lives of the Zambian people, these resources that we have as a country, these are the resources that which we should utilize to make sure that we create an enabling environment for our Zambian people. We can do it as a country, and we are a blessed country with abundant resources, including even water. Mr. Smarter, if you get to shift attention from Kariba and we go Bangwehulu there, Lake Tanganyika, we put electricity generating plants there. We can still generate electricity.
But why are we falling short? I remember even the time of the MMD administration, in the latter days of the MMD, load shedding started.
Yes.
The Patriotic Front came, the hours increased. The UPND came, the hours have still increased. And days. Now, my question is, what is the lasting solution to the issues that have to do with load shedding? Seeing President CHANSA that yes, we have Mamba collieries, yes, we have the Kariba Dam, Kafua Lower and Kafua Upper, like they call it.
Yes.
We have the Iteziteji. We also have the solar field that came about, which is being introduced. And with all these alternative sources of energy, or with all these electricity generating avenues, we are still lagging behind when it comes to power generation and maximizing on the profits that come from power generation. Where are we lagging behind as a country?
Yes, I think what the problem that which is there, I think it's just a lack of serious leadership, that which should prioritize the lives of the Zambian people, and that which should take critical sectors as a priority. You and me, we can agree from our colleagues the time they were in opposition, including even our honorable member of parliament, Mr. Gary Nkombo. He explained so well how to build a dam, a canal, in order to make sure that
what happened to that canal? I need to have a conversation with Honorable Gary Nkombo and ask him what happened.
Yes, when
that brilliant idea.
That was a very brilliant idea. Not just him, including even our Republican president, President Hakainde Hichilema, and he owes it to the Zambian people. When in opposition, he was one of the person who had brilliant ideas, who spoke so loudly that even when you go to Dubai, you go to Saudi Arabia, at times rains, they will not show up.
It's practically desert, yes.
You see, but these people, they don't go without electricity. So for us, it's just lack of leadership. And it is true. What he said, it is true. It is just lack of serious leadership. Now, how does this leadership failure comes in? The problem is that when we are in opposition as leaders, we get to speak so well.
Like you are speaking right now.
Yes.
Like you are speaking right now.
Like I am speaking right now. Yeah.
You are on record.
It's me. I'm on record.
And we're playing these videos to you. This video
it is very good that we are speaking and then you are even keeping records.
We are?
Yes. The problem with our leaders is that they have failed to prioritize the lives of the Zambian people, and they have failed to prioritize and to take advantage on the critical sectors that which can help this country to develop. You can agree with me, when they were in opposition, they promised to bring cheaper melamine. But are the Zambians buying cheaper melamine? No. Why? It is because they are not taking this critical sector as a priority. They have neglected the sectors that should be a priority. Just like as we are talking about energy, electricity. This is a sector that which we should take as a priority as a country if we are to develop this country, because there is no country that can develop without electricity. And Zambia, we are blessed with abundant water. We are also blessed with coal. You and me, we can agree that out of our coal, other countries do not even have coal, but they get to import this coal and use it to generate electricity.
So now,
why are we failing to utilize from our resources that which we have as a country including even water. You know, Zambia is only consuming about 3,000 megawatts of electricity. And the last time that electricity was developed, I think about 1,050 megawatts, it was during the PF time.
Okay.
From the MMD, it was at 1,600 megawatts. So why are we measuring these figures? These figures are telling us that we have lacked to prioritize the sectors that which we should take as critical sectors in making sure that we pump more resources in energy production. Mr. Joe, we can earn forex out of this sector if we make sure that we develop this sector. If we come up maybe with the electricity generating plants, maybe we shift attention to Bangweulu, Lake Tanganyika there, and even maximize to produce 12,000 megawatts.
Okay.
For us, we can only consume maybe up to 4,000 megawatts. The remaining, we can even utilize to export it to our neighboring countries. But this comes because of lack of serious leadership that which should be put in place. And this is what is prompting us now, we the youths, the genius, who understands better what we should do for this country, to come on board now, to get involved, to seek for public
So now,
office.
how do we then, how do you then help an electorate out there, or the general public out there, to identify these leaders that you feel, together with you, are able to take Zambia to a whole different dimension when it comes to development and prioritizing the country as opposed to prioritizing individual interests? As we begin to wind up,
Yes,
President CHANSA.
thank you very much. First, how we can urge our Zambian people to scrutinize in terms of leadership. They should look at the wisdom which is there. They should not look at what someone owns, what someone has. And this has been a problem to our country, because for a long time we have identified leaders on the basis of having resources. We have identified leaders on the basis of having monies. When a leader has got money, that leader, we have hoarded them in an esteemed manner, where we think as if is the leader who has got the wisdom. So we need to make sure that we differentiate having money and having wisdom to develop this country. They are two different things. We should make sure that we do not choose a leader because one is rich. We should not make sure that we do not choose a leader because it talks too much.
So should we then look for a leader that is poor? Because poor people have got a problem. There's everything wrong with being poor. There's no glory in being poor. Being poor, when you're given a lot of money, people tend to forget what they're supposed to do in office. People tend to forget. They end up having misplaced priorities, President CHANSA. So maybe let us not discriminate when it comes to being rich. We all aspire for that. I think,
yes.
We have to be wealthy.
Yes, we have to be wealthy. But the first thing that should come in terms of choosing a leader, we should look at the wisdom. Whether one is rich or whether one is poor, we should not, that should not be a benchmark. But I can tell you, Mr. Smarter, the highest percentage of a person who is wiser and who can be the best person to deliver to the people of Zambia is that one who has passed into problems. Because it is a trend. It is a trend. It's a training. The problems that he has ever passed through could build him to be a good leader. Then we are not saying that always poor people who will do what is best. But I assure you, the highest percentage of those that have gone through problems are able to understand the problems that others are going through. For example, I'll give you this example. You and me, we have grown in shanty compound where we had managed to go to school without eating. But if you ask one of our colleagues, maybe who had grown in these high places, where everything is affordable, and then you ask him that you explain that you have come to school without eating, to him he will refuse, and he won't get to agree with what you are saying, because he has never or she has never experienced the problem that you are talking about. So in a nutshell, we are saying those people that have endured, have gone through, they are better off having the wisdom to do what is right than those that have not endured.
Okay, fantastic. President Chanda, as we go, the Zambian public is watching out there. UKA sympathizers, RDC supporters are watching out there. And the general public, the largest constituency, the Zambian constituency, is glued to their local community TV station, Camnet TV. And they are asking, why should we believe in the vision of UKA and RDC? Why should we vote for UKA and RDC? Why should we buy their message as an alliance and as a political party, RDC? What's your message to the viewers?
Thank you very much, Mr. Smata. Our message to our viewers is that we encourage them to scrutinize and look at all the political parties and look at all the alliances, and they should gauge which alliance has got credible leaders, which alliance seem to be more organized to come and make sure that we arrest this high cost of living which the Zambian people have been subjected to. When you look at United Kwacha Alliance there, we have got strong, good, determined women by the name of President Sharakateka, Savoy Imbwela, the very brilliant women who are even inspiring other women to know that it's their right to be part and parcel of the governance system. We have got President Hali Kalava. Hali Kalava, if we look at his history of leadership, you and me will agree that is one kind of a leader who has never agreed to what is wrong. It is very rare in African countries for a minister to resign from the highest position, pointing out on things that which we are not going right in terms of corruption the time he resigned. He resigned and left his high position because he knew that I'm in this office to save the Zambian people, but not to save myself. We can talk about also President Sakwiba Scotta. Sakwiba Scotta, an experienced politician, the statesman, President Sakwiba Scotta. We can look at his record soon. We will also agree that he's a brilliant leader and very humble leader, a leader who listens, and a leader who wants to make sure that he does what the Zambian people are demanding. President Slavely, a young leadership, a vibrant, very energetic, visioned young leadership. President CHANSA, myself, I'm part of the team. I'm part of the team with our leaders who have been there in the system, and I'll be part to make sure to bring on table the problems that the youths are going through. And in United Kwacha Alliance, you will never see confusion in that alliance, because we understand that our goal as opposition political leaders, it's not to save our interest, but to save the people of Zambia. Thank you very much. This is what I advise the people.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. President Robert CHANSA, for coming through to Camnet Media House this particular afternoon and for offloading your vision as a party and as an individual. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smarter, and we really appreciate for this opportunity that which our media station has given us to engage with the Zambian people, to make sure that the Zambian people should have a good life. And we want also to encourage our colleagues who are in government. Can they take private media stations as their stakeholders to develop this country? In which way? If we can come on board and support private media stations, it means that you are going to have the space to employ more of the youths who are out there. We have got good journalists out there. We have got good reporters who are young people out there. So we need to come at a state where we should recognize private media to help them with resources so that you expand these businesses. These businesses are for the nations. They are not for a person. This is where we have not understood private media very well, Mr. Smarter. For us as WUCA and for us as RDC, I've always stated that private medias, we need to take them as stakeholders because they are helping this country in creating employment for our youths out there. If we can come up with a way in which also private medias can be compensated, you are also affected due to road shading. If we can find means and ways, just the way we are finding means and ways in terms of CDF, just the way we had found a way to support musicians, in which about 30 million kwacha was given to just musicians. What if we empower private medias? We give them such resources. How big will it be for this country? It means that these media stations will grow, will be expanded, and more youths will be employed. This is why we are fighting to be on the table so that we bring solutions that which will help this country. Thank you very much, Mr.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. CHANSA, and thank you so much for speaking on behalf of private media houses. Thank you so much.
And thank you. Present.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, the major stakeholders, the viewers out there, as you continue patiently waiting for the big announcement coming from Camnet TV. You don't want to miss this. Thank you so much to everyone that joined us this particular afternoon, and thank you to President CHANSA here for coming through. My director upstairs for the extra minutes. We are most grateful to you. I have been your host, Tapelo. Joe Smarter is my name. We'll see you when you see us. Good afternoon and God bless.